And we move across to West Asia as the talks aimed at cementing a truce in Gaza between Israel and Hamas are ongoing. Efforts to achieve a hostage deal is intensifying.
In a press conference on Thursday, U.S. President Joe Biden stated that there is real progress in talks for a ceasefire and a hostage deal between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. An agreement the U.S. president is pushing for in his last days in office. Biden further added that his administration will be able to secure a hostage deal, even though Hamas is currently the obstacle to an agreement.
I can, but I'm not sure it's appropriate for now. We're making some real progress. I met with negotiators today. I think there's what's going on right now in Lebanon, and we finally have a president. He's a first-rate guy. I spent time on the phone with him today, about 20 minutes to half an hour, what they have planned. They're also working very hard with the Lebanese military, accountable to the Lebanese people, not Hamas, not Hezbollah, not any other group.
Earlier, President-elect Donald Trump issued a stark warning regarding the hostages held by Hamas, stating that all hell will break out in West Asia if they are not released by his inauguration on January 20th.
In Tel Aviv, families of hostages gathered yet again to demand action, increasing pressure on Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government.
My son Ori, one of the 6 hostages murdered in captivity, endured 328 days and nights because you refused to make a deal. Do not wait for any other government or anyone else. Bring them home now. Return them to their families immediately.
Meanwhile, Netanyahu's hostage envoy, Gal Hirsch, held a meeting with the hostages and missing families from forum amid the families' fury over the government's effort to try and reach a temporary deal.
A deal would result in the release of only 1/3 of the hostages held by Hamas. This ceasefire marks the first step in a 3-phase plan, with the next phase aimed at securing the release of the remaining hostages in 2 weeks. However, Netanyahu's plans to resume fighting after the first phase have left families anxious, questioning whether the subsequent phases, including the return of the bodies of deceased hostages, will actually happen.
In ongoing efforts to counter Houthi attacks, the Israeli military intercepted 3 drones approaching from the east, 2 of which are believed to have been launched from Yemen.
Now, the first drone intercepted after sirens sounded in Golot, a kibbutz in southern Israel, while IDF confirmed that the second drone was downed over the Mediterranean Sea without triggering alarms in line with operational protocols. The third drone was also intercepted before it could enter Israeli airspace.
Now, despite ceasefire talks, the violence continues to escalate in the Gaza Strip. At least 8 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike on a house in the northern Gaza Strip town of Jabalia. Additionally, an airstrike on the Erbakan school, which was sheltering refugees, resulted in the deaths of 3 Palestinians, including a woman and a child, leaving 25 others injured. The Gaza Health Ministry has reported that the death toll in Gaza has now risen to 45,936.
Meanwhile, the Palestinian Authority has reported the arrest of 247 individuals labeled as outlaws in the Jenin refugee camp amid ongoing clashes that began in December last year. Anwar Rajab, spokesperson for the PA forces, stated that these arrests are part of efforts to regain control over the camp, which has seen increased violence following the detention of several militants.
Now, PA security forces have intensified their operations in Jenin, a historic center of Islamist militancy in the Israel-occupied West Bank. The PA's actions aim to prevent groups like Hamas and the Islamic Jihad from gaining influence in the area. However, these operations have faced strong opposition from local residents and militant factions.